Welcome to the No Name Brand Podcast. My name is Sashka Hanarappel, actress, singer, dancer, turned brand marketing, sales, and advertising strategist who brands your soul. And each week I bring you an inspiring person or message to help you discover your undergod, turn up your leadership notches, challenge the status quo, because you're fast and furious with a powerful message to share with the world. Thank you for taking time out with me today, and without further ado, let's get our creative and wisdom juices flowing. Welcome, everybody. It's so great to have you here with me, us again on the No Name Brand Podcast. And I have a secret to tell you. Maybe you already know this, but maybe you don't. I am a strategy geek. Seriously, I contradict myself so often in that I want to be spontaneous, but I want to have a plan for it. It's also not often that you find souls who are similar in character to this, but our next guest is a perfect match. She's got the perfect balance between spontaneous and strategy. In fact, she even showed her talents on the Ellen DeGeneres show by being spontaneous and strategic, but that's another story. She's been featured in the Oprah magazine, the New York Times, and Columbus Dispatch. I'm so excited to speak to our next guest about digital and strategy and how it's all going to benefit you. Here she is, ladies and gentlemen, the gorgeous, the bombshell, Debbie Ashley.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me here, Shashka. I love it. I love the intro too.
It is a pleasure. So tell us, Debbie, where are you in the world today?
I am in always sunny Tampa, Florida.
Ooh, I'm not in always sunny. I'm in the mountains with unpredictable weather.
Oh boy.
Okay, Deb, let's get real.
Okay.
Why are you so in love with strategy and digital? What is it that makes you go all goo goo gaga?
Well, marketing strategy has been a part of me from my teens. I always tell people I'm probably one of the very few people that went to school for the same subject, and I'm still doing it 20 plus years later. We'll just keep it at that.
Oh.
So it's just something that I've always loved. It makes me think. It brings out my creativity. It actually just gives me life. So that's why I love strategy. And then the digital end is what I got into recently. And just that there's a lot of clients that people miss out online. So that's just something that I love to help other people with.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, we all know that or how distracting social media can be.
Right.
You just get your mind, like you just see something, it's like, oh, look, squirrel.
Right.
And basically social media, I find, is the Wall Street of online business, or the hub is happening. So you cannot not be on social media. It's
Exactly.
a whole different world as well. Many are trying to learn self-control with social media and finding it extremely difficult. What tips do you have for those that are building their empire on social media and offline to find a balance and to have or to implement habits of self-control so that you're not totally sucked into the world of not being sociable
Right.
offline as well? What awesome tips do you have?
Yeah, first of all, it's impossible not to try and be sociable because obviously social media is about being social. But you also have to understand that we see some people in groups sometimes and they spend all day in groups and they don't do anything else. You also have to understand there is a balance. For me, I use a method where, and I'm online a lot, like people tell me that they see me all the time and I'm not really, obviously I'm doing work because that's just part of my job to network. Our version of networking anyway, to network with clients and answer questions and show value and all that good stuff. So I say initially, actually allow yourself to do it. Allow yourself to get in there. And this is for people who are just starting out because it's all about showing up and having people notice you. So initially allow yourself to be in there, get to know different people. That will give you also a better understanding of who you are and who you serve and what you like best. But then you also have to have your 2 to 3 hours of just stepping away and actually doing the work. Because I think a lot of people get so excited about the aspect of social media. I'm an introvert, but we have your extrovert who work from home. So that's just our way of, that's our colleagues online. So a lot of people get so involved in it that they forget the work aspect. But I would say allow yourself, maybe like every 30 minutes you get on, you play, you do your thing. and then get off, work for 2 hours, and then get on again. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I think real life, there's no such thing as being productive for like 6-7 hours straight. We can probably be productive. And the funny thing with social media, especially Facebook, now I tell people I have like the attention span of an ant, because it's, like you said, squirrel. Everything is like you're going back and forth. So maybe you give yourself 2 good hours of working, and then give yourself a break and get back on social and do your networking.
Yeah. Are there any like gadgets or something to help you, or our listeners, are there any kind of like gadgets which stop the social media for a bit so you can have a kind of timer or something? Because there's no point in doing it on your phone. To be like, is it over yet?
Exactly. Well, the best thing I do, I mean, it is all self-discipline. There is an app. I'm going to get you the name of the app too. There is an app that you can install as part of Chrome, and it will actually get rid of everything on your feed except what's right there. But here's the thing. You can always get rid of everything on your feed, and then you get bored of it, and then you're going to just turn off the app. So I think it's really about learning self-discipline, because eventually, say you're on there for like a month and you're just always on there, you have to realize that at one point it's about making money. We're on there to have fun, and we're on there to meet people, but it's really about making money. But I'm going to get you the name of the app too for those who want to do that. It gets rid of everything on your feed except your information.
Yeah, but it's true what you say. You just got to learn self-discipline.
Yeah.
I mean, even when we were in school, there was also the hour that you had to sit through the whole lections, and it's just kind of like, all right, okay, I hear the subject.
Right.
And then you'd have a 5-10 minute break, and then you go straight back into it again. It's just learning the discipline. And that fear of missing out, that FOMO, it's all in your mind. You're not missing out on anything.
Yeah. I think, especially as a business owner, I think the hardest thing to learn is discipline, because especially if you come from, for me, my background is a corporate background. So especially if you go to work every day and you have specific assignments and that's what you do. But when you're online, if you don't have the discipline, you get lost in it all. But it's just a business. Write yourself a list of things that you want to accomplish daily and get it done. That's that. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, there may be some listeners who are new to podcasts or new to starting up your business, just not new like starting up your business, just new to the whole thing, and they're wanting to find out all the tips and the tricks and insider information. Describe to us in as simple words as possible the differences between the different social media platforms.
Sure.
And which you'd use for what and why.
Okay. So what I have found, because I've kind of played on the different ones, there's specific platforms for specific goals. So first of all, if we go to Twitter to me, if you're looking for media attention and you're looking to connect with someone and your strategy is to really get out there and do media, Twitter is going to be the best one to get to the editors and get to the podcast people and all those different people. And that's in their own atmosphere, and just connect with them there. Pinterest, I don't really use Pinterest too much for business. But Pinterest, you have a lot of the stay-at-home moms and a lot of your wedding planners and people really engaged in those type of services. Instagram is completely visual. Instagram, I would say, to still use for, I'm sure we have a lot of your service-based entrepreneurs that you cater to. So Instagram is a great platform for your service-based entrepreneurs, but I find it more effective for something you have maybe on the like a low-end product. Facebook is your platform for your coaches and your strategists, and you have a few other people, but they're almost conditioned on Facebook that they're buying into a higher end product. So you can use Instagram for your lower end, and you can also use Instagram to build your list, and then Facebook for your higher end product. And then of course, LinkedIn, if your audience, corporate executives, it's kind of making a switch right now, but corporate executives and business owners that have more than like 3 to 5 employees, LinkedIn would be your best platform if you're trying to reach that crowd.
The big confusion comes whether you're offline or online, irrespective of what business you have, whether it's product or service based. It's always like, so which platform am I going on? How many times a day do I actually have to be posting on there? And can I actually cope with the content I'm going to be putting on there? Like you were mentioning now, getting the attention of media or podcasters on Twitter. So it's like, oh, I'm going to open myself an account. My name is my bio, and I've done it. I'm on Twitter, people. I'm tweeting. I'm tweeting. I'm tweeting. So, but no one's taking notice. Why are they? Because they're Twitter chats. How are you going to get the attention there? What are you going to be doing?
Well, the thing about Twitter, it moves so quickly and it does take patience. What I do is I do a lot of automation on I don't use Twitter as much, but I know how to use it. So I use a lot of automation, and I post everything that I post is value, and it has to do specifically with my field. So I post about 8 times a day based on automation, your little tweets. And then the key with Twitter is connecting and engaging in conversation and even sharing tweets from those people that you want to get close to. So they're not going to notice you. Like it's like you're in school and you're in the playground and you go up and you make friends. That's really what Twitter is about. Making friends, connecting with those that you want to meet, and then offering them value. Everything's about, especially when we go to networking events, it's what can you do for me? But I'm thinking from a perspective of the client, what can you do for me? So you find out what you can do for them and you give it to them. And they'll like you better.
Please like me.
Yes.
In
like
Instagram,
me.
you can double tap heart me, please. Now, you were speaking about value, and this is a huge thing to offer passers-by, window shoppers that are just searching their news feed or just flicking through their news feed. What, in your terms, is high value content that you're going to be putting out? Especially if you're, for example, a jewelry maker or a designer. What content are you putting out there? Because in their minds, they're just like, I just design jewelry. I mean, what more content should I be putting out there? So how would you be helping them?
It depends. For jewelry maker, who's the end customer?
Well, it depends. Okay, let's say costume jewelry. So they're supplying loose components and also creating jewelry pieces for those that also make jewelry, for costume jewelry or artisan jewelry.
So for retailers would be their end customer?
No, not necessarily retailers, more like DIY, crafters.
Oh, gotcha. So, and here's what the interesting thing, I started off on Instagram. I didn't know much about Instagram. The way that I started, someone tagged me on a post. They were looking for a social media manager. They tagged me. And I grew my account from like 0 followers to about 8 followers in less than 6 months. And it was really just sharing information. So for a jeweler, what they can do, especially for the DIY people, they can actually do many videos of how to use their product, how to use their loose pieces and create bigger pieces. They can use their Instagram account and show them how to sell it. They can show them how to put together unique pieces, just demonstrating the reasons why you need to buy my pieces and what you can do once you buy it. So anything that they can do that will help the end user. So for me, obviously as a marketing strategist, what I did is I pretty much just gave tips on what you can do to grow your account and what you can do to get clients. It was just something that I shared because that's all I knew. There's a lot of people too, I find that they say, don't share the how, but I share the how. So you have your 2 different type of clients. You have people who are going to do it themselves, and then you have people who they know the how, but they don't know how to do it. Like they really don't know how to dig in and get it, because we have our left brain thinkers and we have our right brain thinkers. And for me, let's think about it. When we talk about, say, an accountant thing, I can go on YouTube and I can study everything about accounting, but I'm not going to do my own taxes. Like there's no way I'm getting in that trouble. So it's just share as much value that you think the end user will need in order to even build that jewelry piece or whatever they need to do. And that's what I mean by value.
That's good. I like that. Who is, in your opinion, the hottest social media expert to follow for the different platforms, and why?
Me.
Yes, no. I love it. I was hoping you would say that.
I don't really have anyone else except me.
This is what I love. Yes. Nobody else but me. All right, so that's ticked off. Let's go to the next one. I just wanted to hear that.
Okay, you just needed confirmation, huh?
Exactly. The hardest part of being an entrepreneur is doing the work.
Right.
You can read as much as you want. You can listen to as many podcasts. Thank you very much for listening. And you can even watch all the free information from Gary Vee and Marie Forleo. You can download a gazillion free freebies. But at the end of the day, unless you don't implement, jack squat will happen. Doesn't matter how much mindset you're doing.
Exactly.
What's your strategy advice for getting the work implemented? Where do you start and where do you lead to?
So the first thing, especially if you're starting out, because I fell into that trap too. Actually, I started online and I was an implementer, but then you realize that there's a lot of things that you don't know. Even with a 20-year background and everything, there's a lot of things you don't know. So then I took my first course, and then I took another course, and then I went on. So I think it's as long as you have the foundation, and to me, the foundation is getting clarity on who exactly, like who you are, first of all, who you are, like what your zone of genius, as we call it, zone of genius, what you do best. So what you do best, what makes you unique on the online space, because there's a lot of noise. And then what transformation you bring for your client. That's all you need to know. And then you just go out there and find them. I know it sounds, that's like so vague when I say that, but you literally, like say if you're on Facebook, you literally go in groups and you know the pain. And that's another thing, you know what they're struggling with. And if you really pay attention, you can see what people talk about and what they're struggling with. And then you connect with them. You show up in front of their face all the time. And even on your page or anywhere else, you kind of like share what you do and how you help clients. And eventually they're going to take a look at your bio. They're going to start checking you out and they're going to approach you. That's a simple version of it. But to answer your question, you just have to start implementing. Stop looking at the shiny objects, as we call it. Stop thinking that you have a lot more to learn, because you have everything. You have all the basics. You need to hire a mentor to help you out and just to hold you accountable, because it's the same thing, like you said. In school or wherever, we can do everything we want, but sometimes you just need someone to like check on you from time to time. So hire that person who's going to like give you that one-on-one, because something I found out is I took these courses, but I can't do group courses. I'm not a group course person. Like I need someone to literally like hold my hand. So that's what I help with my clients too. But yeah, so just find someone who can help you and then just get it done, or you'll waste a lot of time.
I so resonate with that. I know as well, coming from corporate and starting everything and starting my business and all of this. When I started 9 years ago, my business, gosh, it's 9 years already. I remember coming online, and when I started with my website, none of what was happening now was available here in Austria or the German speaking. And I remember coming online, and the first person I remember meeting was Lewis House.
Nice.
And his main product then wasn't even the podcast. It was all about webinars.
Okay.
And I thought, a webinar? What the hell is a webinar? It's like, now it's the dirty word. Are you doing a webinar? No one is trying to sell something to me.
Right. We call it live training now to make it seem better.
Yeah, exactly. But there is so much that you learn, and so much, but you evolve. You evolve from there, and you see what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what is it
exactly
what your soul tribe is looking for. What's your secret to more exposure and connecting with dream clients to raise one's profits?
Can I ask you a question first before I answer that?
Yeah, sure.
The bikini in the back. I don't know if that's been asked before, but can we talk about that first?
That is painted. It's an oil painting.
Okay, it's a painting.
By a South African artist, and her name is Renelle Human.
Okay.
Beautiful artist. And yeah, that was my first painting that I ever bought. And it was just so real for me. I'm like, I want that.
Love it. Yeah, I love it. It looks very it's very 3D like.
Yeah.
So, okay, so my secret for connecting, I kept staring at it. My secret for connecting with the right people, know exactly what they want and get in front of their face and just really be in front of them with it. Talk about value with all the information that they actually need to solve their problem. So I actually did a small video. We talk about you connect with certain people and they're not ready to buy, because some people are just in the awareness stage. They're just looking around, they're doing their research. They don't know that they need the help yet. So one thing you can do to really connect with those people, if you speak to them and they're not ready to buy, give them one action step that they can implement right now. Once they start seeing results, they're going to know that you're the real deal, because there's a lot of quote unquote real deals out there. So you have to stand out by showing people that you're actually the real deal.
Love that. That is so true. And I love also that you said showing the how.
Yeah.
I always tell, I don't know how many times I've said this, but people aren't listening. So even if you gave them the answer, they still wouldn't be listening.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, here's $10,000. Here you go. No. They need you to like really physically go with them to the bank and put it in the bank. I mean, that's just human nature. It's not a good or it's not a bad thing. It's just that we don't realize how much we know until we start implementing things. And you think, oh, I knew that already. So, and I learned my lesson by taking too many courses, and I'm thinking I kind of know a lot more than the person that I hired. So I stopped doing that. I'm good.
Tick. Yes.
Yeah.
So tell us, Deb, what is something you're not good at?
I'm not good at anything admin. It's really bad. Like I talk about lists and everything, and I write down lists and I try to follow them, but I'm not good at, like, it's almost like this rebellious child in me. If I know that I have a complete list of things to do for the day, unless it's something where I'm like, okay, I'm going to get this result, or it's anything that's related to a client, I can do. But if it's anything else that deals with administrative stuff, it won't get done.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
So that's a big thing. Of course, accounting, I'm not good at either. And another big thing, when we talk about introverts, it's not that they're shy, it's just that it's the energy that's involved. So when I'm on Facebook, the good thing about me, I can be on there for a little while, but then I have to step back and do my own thing, because it kind of drains my energy as I'm going back and forth with a lot of different people. So
I love that. Expand a bit more about the energy. Tell us a bit more what you mean with the energy.
So, yeah, I think a lot of people, because I see a lot of posts about introverts, and I think some introverts even use this. Well, some are shy. So for me, I know everyone's surprised that I'm an introvert, and I love people. I love chatting with people. But probably after an hour, and speaking of Ellen's like that too, after about maybe 45 minutes to an hour of heavy interaction with someone, like I'm dead. I can just lie on the couch and I'm good. So it does drain and a lot of introverts can relate to this. It does drain a lot of our energy if there's too much intense conversation. Another thing that drains my energy could be if it's about business, like I can be all in, but if it's small talk, then it's very draining.
How do you come back up? How do you ground yourself, or what kind of stuff do you do?
I don't really do meditation to get back in from being introverted. I listen to podcasts. I just kind of take my time and do my own thing. Even like preparing some client work for 30 minutes, like that's my alone time. And as long as I'm doing it alone, that just brings me back up. So
I love that.
Yeah.
What is something you want to be good at?
Let's see. What do I want to be good at? I think I want to be good at, I want to really, really be good at sales. And I really want to be good at what you do too. I want to be good at just being a natural on camera and being alive when I get on camera and not feeling a little self-conscious, because that's a little secret. I think a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people don't do Facebook Lives because they see other people and they're brilliant and they're so alive, but everyone has that little nagging voice in their, not everyone, but most of us have that little nagging voice in our head just before we go live, like, is anyone going to show up? And am I going to mess up? So that's a great thing for your listeners too. Don't be afraid to go live, and don't think that those that you see that are shining so bright are fully confident, because most of us, or a few of us, have that little nagging voice in our head.
Yeah. But you got nothing to worry about. And I always say, I even told one of my clients today, there's always opportunities in the shambles. Always. So even if there is something that's messed up, you just kind of make something out of it. That's PR.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
you're
PR,
right,
baby.
People love, that's why people love you, because you're just yourself. Yeah, you're right. People don't want to see perfect anyway, so you're right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because then you just feel inhibited and you're doing ace, babe. Ace.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What are your next steps to digital domination?
My next step, should I tell you?
It's a secret, I promise.
No one is hearing this. Let's see. I don't really have any specific next steps. I have hired a coach who is way above me to take me to a goal that I'm trying to reach. So I'll work with her to determine my next step.
Oh.
But I would love to. My next steps, actually, I'm not a great public speaker. I'd love to be on stage at one point. So I'd love to be on stage and do things like that.
I love that.
Thank
and
you.
Working in community works or workshops, doing offline stuff as well?
Yes, doing some offline workshops. I'm not sure if the Chamber of Commerce is big in your area, but it's an organization that houses a lot of small business owners, and they get together and network. So doing a lot of Chamber of Commerce events. Not a lot of locals know about social media and how to attract clients, so just really educating them. That would be fab.
It is. That's a very good point that you're actually bringing up now, is that a lot of companies offline, they're very skeptical about social media. First of all, most of the bricks and mortar that are offline, their businesses are running already and they don't see the advantages in social media.
Right.
When you meet them, what do you say to them? Like, how are you selling yourself? Because this is one of your goals. Like, how are you selling yourself over there?
So I haven't done it yet, but what I would do, and that this is an easy thing, it's because not a lot, obviously no one's going to say no to more clients. So I use social media just like you would use marketing as a way to build awareness. So if you have a presence on social media and clients see you on social media, then they walk past your store. We have that whole thing. You have to see someone 7 to 10 times to really notice them. So if you keep seeing them show up on social media and then you walk by the store, their store will be the first store that people walk into because they're familiar. It feels like them. So that would be my biggest selling point for your brick and mortar companies.
I love that.
Yeah.
And where should they start? God, I just slurred my words. Where should they start?
They could start by contacting me, of course, but that they should start. But I think that's the easiest way because here's the thing. If it's not something that you're very good at, why don't you contract it out or hire someone to help you with it? But if they don't want to do that, just start by building a business page. Like most people have their personal page. Start by building a business page and start posting content that relates to your business and that relates to the client that you're looking to attract.
Love that.
And it's simple. Yeah.
So, my lovely, we're coming near the end, unfortunately.
Okay.
For all my guests, I asked them 2 questions.
Sure.
And one of the questions is, how do you want to change the world or challenge the world doing what you do?
I actually want to change it. When I first came online, I said, I'm going to work with both men and women, but in the online space, I see a lot of women who are sitting back and accepting things that they don't necessarily want. And I get the rants on PM, so I know. So I have a hashtag that I use fairly often, own your voice. So I want people to know that they can show up as themselves and they can speak their mind and that they can still get clients for doing that. They're not going to, a lot of people are afraid that if they say certain things or if they act like who they really are, they're not going to get clients. So I just want to empower women to know that if you let go of everything else and if you show your real self, your real people will come to you. That's how you call in what we call your tribe.
I love that.
Yeah.
So resonate with that.
I'm very passionate. Like it bothers me a lot, so I'm very passionate about it.
Good for you. And it's so important to know that voice and to stand up for it. Next thing, I would like you to fill in the gaps of 3 of my values, your viewpoint of it. So creativity for you is?
Creativity for me is, let's see, doing things my way, how I want to do it.
I did it my way.
Is that Frank Sinatra?
It is, yeah.
Oh, wise, yeah.
Wisdom for you is?
I should know that. I consider myself a wise person. Wisdom is experiencing and doing things versus reading about it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's good. Passion for you is?
Passion is purpose, what you're here on earth for. That's a hard one, but yeah, passion is really living out what you know that you're on earth for.
I love that. Love that.
Thank you.
Debbie, thank you so much for being with us here today and for enlightening us about digital and strategy and marketing. And you can find out more information about Debbie on thrivoo.com.
Yes.
That's THRIVOO.com.
Wonderful. Love it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I had a great time. Thank you. It's always great connecting with you, Shasta.
Yes, it was awesome. And you can hook up with Debbie if you need any social media help. You can find all the links in the show notes below and her favorite book, her favorite quote, and she might even have a little freebie for you. Thank you so much. Be blessed and keep rocking the world and helping everyone find their voice.
Thank you.
And own it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dang, that was just supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I enjoyed having you on board, and please do me and you a favor. Head on over to iTunes, SoundCloud, or Stitcher. Click subscribe, and a super bonus, leave your review and you stand a chance of being announced and advertised on the show. I'm always striving to ensure that your brand is uplifted and empowered. Remember, done is better than perfect. So be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and send in your feedback too. You're the absolute best. Keep rocking.